So the Chicago Bears just quietly solved a pretty big issue on this roster, and this is coming off the sister kisser of the 24-24 tie against the Miami Dolphins. There are really some important things to be gleaned from that game, even though the starters weren't starting right, and that's the kicking game. The kicking game has been a huge issue, but all the focus has been elsewhere, right? It's gotten lost in the shuffle, and if this game against Miami was any indication, the Bears' kicking woes are all but settled. So this is coming off on Tuesday. The Bears announced a slew of roster moves. That was with the addition of 4 new defensive backs to help add some camp bodies with all the injuries in the secondary. But in order to make those signings, the team had to clear out some space on the roster. And this is moving towards the 53-man roster as well. And let's talk about Kim, the kicker that was signed for Michigan State to have competition against incumbent Santos. One of those players that got moved off the active roster was undrafted rookie kicker Jonathan Kim. He was officially waived by the team, and there was a lot of hoopla when he came onto the team because he is known as having an extremely strong and accurate leg. It really says a lot that Santos is being the winner of this kicking battle. We're looking at the former Michigan State standout entering camp in a open competition with kicker Cairo Santos, and he dealt with his fair share of struggles, mostly from distance during this last season. The Bears are kind of getting a head start on cutting down to the 53, and we're looking at some other roster moves. The Bears signed running back Britton Brown, waived defensive back Amir Speed, and also picked up safety Mark Perry. So the Bears look to see what the Brown and Perry can offer with 2 more preseason games left. And if you're looking at Kim, he had a definite shot at the kicking game here. He was signed as a UDFA, of course, following this draft. But we're looking at a guy that during his last 2 years of college football at Michigan State, the guy made 82.1% of his field goals. That's 32 of 39 accurate, known for having a big leg. So Santos, his main struggle was struggling with deep kicks. Some of it was due to a low kicking trajectory, but he's been an exceptionally accurate kicker during his tenure for your Chicago Bears. So by adding Kim, the Bears brought in a kicker who had a much stronger leg to push Santos. Accuracy was still paramount, though, when deciding who gets the job. And this is from special teams coordinator Richard Hightower. He said this way back at the start of camp. I think the number one thing with kickers is accuracy. If you got the long leg, that's great. If you've got 55 plus yards and you can hit those are definitely valuable if you have one that can do that. But he's got to be accurate. So if we look specifically at this preseason game, it gave both kickers an opportunity to see the field. But Santos, he absolutely slammed the door shut on this competition really before it even got started, because I think this distance issue with Santos, it may have just been answered. And specifically, right before halftime, right, if you watch the game, Luther Burden, he made a really nice catch out of bounds, 1 second left on the clock, and that set up a 57-yard field goal attempt. Conventional wisdom, right? Kim has the longer leg. Let Kim have the first shot since they're in a competition. But the Bears showed absolute confidence with Santos. They brought him out on the field, and the coaches were rewarded, guys. He nailed that 57-yard field goal with room to spare. If that was regular season, that would have set a new career high for the 12-year pro. Just a really nice thing, and I think, honestly, it was one of the best moments of that preseason game. Let's hear straight from Ben Johnson. That was pretty strong. I was joking with him that we probably didn't even need that many yards. We could have even kicked it from backed up the way that he nailed that thing. We could have been backed up way further. So that kick went into halftime. Kim actually got on the field in the second half, but it was only for 2 extra points in his NFL debut. So unfortunately for the rookie, Santos, he showed the coaches exactly what they were looking for, exactly the issue, the reason that they brought Kim in the first place for competition. And man, just a really nice thing to see. As far as Kim, he was fighting an uphill battle most likely, but he still managed to get an opportunity here. And this is really good for a player like him. And I like to see this as well because he got to showcase his skills not only for the Bears, but for the other 31 teams in the league. Since he got released ahead of the second preseason game, that gives him plenty of time to catch on with another team, to come into town for another team that possibly even has a kicker injury. And if he doesn't get signed between now and the final preseason game, then he could get picked up for a practice squad spot later this month. But if that doesn't happen, he'll have to take his chances on the workout circuit. But it's just a really good opportunity for Kim. I think he's definitely going to land somewhere. The kid's got talent, a really long leg. It's just Santos finally proved that he can kick from distance. And I know I'm overreacting from just one kick. Just a really nice thing to see. And yet another spot on the Chicago Bears team that is solved. Now, speaking of what's not solved, let's talk about left tackle for a minute. And here's Johnson talking about the left tackle competition just today on X. Hopefully some clarity. We'll go as long as we need to go to find the right guy. We'd like someone to go ahead and make it clear that they are that guy. We haven't seen that yet as a staff, and there's just been too much up and down. So we're looking at Ben Johnson. He also said that the eventual winner of this left tackle competition, that doesn't mean he has the job solidified throughout the year. And that's another thing. It's just really difficult to hear at this time of year. We're looking at Jones and Trapillo being the favorites. I mean, looking at Jones, he's started 40 games at tackle since entering the league in 2022. A small school guy in the 5th round. What a nice pick by GM Ryan Poles. And Trapillo, he was actually a premium pick. He was a 2nd-round pick just in this last draft. But now we've got a black sheep coming in for this competition. Not sure what a black horse is. 2024 undrafted free agent Theo Benedict. He's taken a bunch of first-team reps at practice, and he's starting to get a vote of confidence from head coach Ben Johnson. So let's cover that really quick. Benedict was probably overlooked to start this competition, but the longer this thing's gone on, there's a strong argument for him. So now we've got 2 preseason games left. That should give the Bears some time to find an answer at the left tackle position. But I'm going to share with you guys once again, it is a bit concerning that this offensive line still has questions heading into this final preseason game. So let's do some more brass tacks. Let's talk about what exactly should we be watching for during this Buffalo Bills game? Because now you're going to see starters getting significant action here. And, talking heads, guys on here, I try not to be one of those that overreact to everything. You're going to hear tons of takes from this one preseason game, but let's just make it clear the players that you really want to watch the most. And obviously that's going to be Caleb Williams, right? He's going to get his first chance to silence guys like Colin Cowherd, whose takes on Caleb Williams seems to change as the wind changes. It's just kind of ridiculous. That guy is ridiculous. But we're looking at Williams. He's got to execute at a relatively high level to keep these takes at bay, but to also just prepare for the season. I don't think he's really worried about what we have to say about him very much. I think he's in good hands with this coaching staff. Maybe DeAndre Swift. I mean, he's been a point of criticism throughout this offseason. I mean, that's a popular position on the team that so many Bears fans, including myself, wanted to see a possible upgrade of. But the only addition to this room has been Kyle Monangai. And he reminds me of another 7th-round pick out of Rutgers, Isaiah Pacheco. He runs like he's angry at the ground, just like Pacheco. I absolutely love seeing Monangai run. And even though Swift has legit ability to be an explosive weapon in this offense, he's going to have to showcase it. Because I think if he struggles, Monangai is Ben Johnson's guy. He drafted him. He's going to get a lot of play if Swift shows some chinks in the armor. Also, Roschon Johnson, I think he could very easily take on this Williams role, this Montgomery role in this Ben Johnson offense. And I think he's a candidate to lead the NFL in touchdowns. That's right, I said it. Roschon Johnson, a candidate to lead the NFL in touchdowns. Call me on that later during the year. Of course, Braxton Jones is going to be a guy to watch, and also maybe the guy that's going to be the most fun to watch. Let's look at Luther Burden, second-round pick. He was greeted to the team with a bunch of celebration. Soft tissue injury. At first, I thought it was a wallet, but it was a hamstring injury. And we've been talking about a lot how Zacchaeus has actually leapfrogged him in the pecking order, really solidly holding on to that number 3 job. We'll see how big that gap is and actually how much Luther Burden can bridge it, because, man, he's going to have to showcase his first-round traits during this game. Last week, he had 2 catches for 29 yards. He looked good, but he needs to do more to get past Zacchaeus. And this is a good problem to have, right? You've got a guy that's absolutely balling out as a number 3 receiver on this team, and you've got a talented rookie that could possibly leapfrog him. Competition in the best way, you guys. So I can't be more excited about this game with the Bills. Lots to watch for. I'm going to be here on the daily leading up to and following that game. I had a little bit that I was off here. I had some really important work and family things to take care of, but I'm back now. Bear down, you guys. Really appreciate you. And hey, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Give me a like. It really is encouraging. So we'll talk soon.